Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am.
Yes, good morning to all.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, good morning. Yes, Sumit, you were asking something?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you had said that we have to register at the USGS Explorer. Ma'am, there were a number of questions which were a little bit confusing. What I should answer in that for, and during the registration process. So, can you guide us on from that, ma'am?
Is there any specific question that we are not getting? Okay, or I will do one thing. In the coming SIP tutorial session, which will be on next Wednesday, I will means if you are not able to register on the USGS website, I will discuss you step-by-step procedure of the registration. But as far as I think, there are only 2 or 3 questions over there, which are very general question. You belong to academics, industry, you are a student or a professional. And I do not know if there is some change in the registration process
Ma'am,
or not,
actually,
because I have, yeah.
they were asking that what kind of use we are going to have for this software and these website, and where we will be using these stuff, and how important is it for me, and this kind of questions were there.
So you can check that it is important for me, and as far as where you are going to use, there must be some option for research, or there must be some option related to academics, education, something like that. Okay, but no problem. If there is anything you are getting confused in the next upcoming SIP tutorial, I will take this whole registration process separately, and there, if any one of you have any problem, we can discuss it over there.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So coming to the WebGIS, in today's turn we have both. We have 1 hour lecture and 1 hour tutorial session. So in the tutorial session, it will be something related to QGIS. Old thing will be there, but we will discuss about the uh, use of that one later on. But right now I'm going to start the lecture. In the previous turn, I have shown you different examples of SIP if you of WebGIS. If you remember about the websites that we have seen earlier, the Karnataka GIS website, where different portals were available which are related to the health, which are related to the agriculture. Several things were present over there. Then another example was of Uttar Pradesh, this cadastral mapping website where you can see the different cadastral map. There was another Uttar Pradesh map of industrial plots. Okay. So at all these places, you have seen the application of WebGIS, how WebGIS is rampantly used in our day-to-day life. Whatever we are doing, whenever we are searching anything that is related to our location, we are basically using the WebGIS. Since all of you have the idea of GIS, all of you have generated the GIS data in the previous semester. What we have learned in that one, that you have the software in your own system. You can visualize that data only when you have that system, when you have that software. But here what is happening, I'm just opening my browser, web browser, and over here everything was visible. Although I do not have any software, although I do not have any such data, but yet I was able to see all the data. Like for the Karnataka GIS, I was able to see different thematic maps over there. I was even able to perform the query operation over there. Here, what was happening, that all the functionality of GIS was placed on the web. So this is basically in a very narrow sense, or in a very simple way, if I try to state what is WebGIS. WebGIS is the GIS that uses the web technology, that delivers the product GIS-based solutions by using the web technology. So this is what the WebGIS is. In the previous lecture, we have learned some basic introduction of that one. Thereafter, we have learned about the innovation of internet. Okay. So everyone, I am giving you 1 minute time. Write down whatever you remember about the evolution of internet. Evolution of GIS was already covered previously in the previous semester. The evolution of internet was covered in the last lecture. So quickly write down few of the things that we have remembered, how the internet started, who are the major personalities in the field of internet, what are the initial developments, how web has been started. Quickly write it down within a minute. So how the internet was started? Basically, its foundation lays back in the years of 1960s, where in United States of America, which department? Department of Defense. Which agency? ARPA. What is the full form of ARPA? Advanced Research Project Agency. Why the project was started? Because there was a threat of attack from Russia, from USSR at that time, as the Cold War was going on between United States of America and USSR. Okay. So at that time, since USSR has developed the intercontinental ballistic missile, therefore there was a threat of attack from the side of USSR on USA. The government of United States has planned some sort of network is required so that different location could get connected. That's why the ARPA, Advanced Research Project Agency of Department of Defense, has started a project, and they have developed a network called ARPANET. Initially, it has connected 4 different locations, which are shown in the figure: University of Stanford, University of California, Santa Barbara campus, University of California, Los Angeles campus, and Utah State University. So initially just 4 nodes were there and they were able to communicate between them. Over the time it has expanded. By the year 1975, it has even expanded to the another continent called Europe. And later on, this network of networks is named as Internet. On the internet, there were several services that runs, like there can be email service, there were Usenet news services, there were file transfer FTP services, there was a telnet service. It was a protocol through which we can log on to other remotely placed computer. So these were the different services that were run at that time. But most important thing was that most of these services are not very user friendly. They were not, their graphical interface was not good, they were not menu driven. At that time there was a service called Gopher which has started. It was a very popular service on the internet, but it has started to charge the fee. Therefore people started to look other places where the things are freely available, open source. In the year 1990s, there was a person called Tim Berners-Lee. Okay, Tim Berners-Lee some research. So Berners-Lee has transfer protocol and URL, uniform resource locator. Okay, he has developed World Wide Web over there, and a very important component of this one, or a very powerful thing, is hypertext or hyperlinking. In this, To open a new page, people just need to click on some of the text. And when they click on that text, automatically they are redirected to a new page. So that's why this web has become very popular. It was free of charge. People just need internet connection and a web browser to use the internet. Okay, so that's why the web has become very popular. Initially, as we have discussed about the web 1.0 and 2.0, initially the web was very static in nature and it has one-sided information flow from the server towards the client in a top-down manner. It was more or less static in nature. From 2000 onwards time, there is means it is not a one perfect date or one perfect year, but usually it is said that post 2000 web 2.0 was used, and the most we have learned about the different things about the web 2.0. The thing is that in this one, the user can also participate. The information is not just top to down flow, it also has a bottom up flow, because the user can also send their information, they can send their own comments, their own thinking. Okay. So therefore, there was a term called what's that? Yes. So here we have learned this term, harnessing the collective intelligence. Collective intelligence means this intelligence is coming from the common people who are using this thing. So there is a UGC, user generated content. In this, user is also generating the content. The example I have given you was like on the shopping website, you can give your own comment, you can give the rating of any of the product. Similarly, on any of the news, you can, you can give thumbs up, thumbs down to the information. You can write your own comments on any of the news. So this is a two-way information flow over here. Okay. Then the concept of cloud computing has been discussed in the previous term. The concept of Ajax was given over there. So this is how the Web 2.0 has been evolved. And in this one, there is a lot of information, a lot of data is now available. Coming to the WebGIS part, the invention of the web has an impact on every field. So in case of GIS also, there is an impact of how we have seen this impact. Which was the very first application of WebGIS? It was Xerox Spark Map Viewer. Who has developed this map viewer? Steve Pertz has developed this map viewer. So this one was a very basic map viewer as it is shown over here. In this one, the people can toggle between the layers. Some of the layers were given over there. There are some basic functionality of GIS, mostly mapping service. So people can view different layers over there. They can change the projection system over here. Okay, they can zoom in, zoom out, perform these type of basic operation over here. But this one is considered, Park Map Viewer is considered as the very first application of WebGIS. Thereafter, the different mapping services have been started, like Alexandria Digital Library, Canadian Atlas Services, then Tiger Online Mapping Service, MapQuest. These are some of the earlier development in the field of WebGIS, and most of them are used for the mapping purpose. Okay. Then when Web 2.2 came, okay, when the Web 2.2 came, again it has an impact on WebGIS. How this impact appeared? The impact has appeared in the form of different application. Like initially the mapping application were 2D in nature. Okay, as there was a development in the field of web as well as parallelly in the field of remote sensing and GIS and the devices, we can see instead of using simple 2D map where nowadays we have 3D viewers, we have virtual globe, like you can see Google Earth. Okay, Google Earth is the example of virtual globe. I open it. Okay, so this is what, as you can see on the screen, this one is the example of 3D globe, virtual 3D globe. So this is how the GIS, the web GIS, which was initially giving a simple 2D map, web mapping, after the invent of the Web 2.0 and other advancement in the field of remote sensing, you can see such type of applications where 3D globe is given over here. Okay. Then earlier I have discussed you about the Ajax. What is the full form of Ajax? Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Okay. This Ajax has a lot of positive effect on GIS because such type of application, the Google Earth is a very good example of this Ajax. Like here, the problem is the size of the data is very large. And if user has to wait for a very long time in order to get the complete data, many times it frustrates the user. By using the Ajax, as the tiles, as the images came, slowly and slowly, partially the whole scene will be built up. Okay. So this is how the application of Ajax is used over here. So this is the one of the application of Web 2.0 over the WebGIS. Okay. There is one important thing which is OGC, Open Geospatial Consortium. Earlier, in case of web, you have learnt about some of the regulating agencies that are responsible for developing the protocols and other things for the web. What were the name of those agencies? First one was W3C, World Wide Web Consortium. Another one was GIS. Also, we need some of the agencies, some of the consortium that is responsible for making some of the standards, open standards, through which the things could work on the internet so that people will know how to, like, if you go to any place, there is certain set of rules. There are some laws according to which that place functions. Like, even if you are the MTech student in MNNIT, so you will be governed by the PG ordinance of the institute. There is one ordinance which give a set of rules and regulation. In case of any problem, we will follow the ordinance. Even when the students enter the institute, we always suggest have a copy of ordinance with you. If you have any of the confusion, all the answers are there in the ordinance. So there is a certain set of rule and regulation over here also. On the internet, where there is a lot of traffic, there are a lot of developers and lot of users, there is a need of a protocol so that developer knows how to develop any application, as well as the client know how to request the developed application or any of the web service. For this purpose, we need some of the organization, and for the WebGIS, it is OGC, Open Geospatial Consortium. Okay. Now they are moving to the next topic. Yes. So concept of WebGIS I have already explained to you. So in WebGIS, there will be a server that will have some of the web pages or some of the scripts based upon the client request. Those scripts will get executed or those pages will get returned. Who can be the client? Anyone. Any of the web browser can be a client. Okay. Like right now I am connected to this Google Earth by using the Google Chrome. So what is client over here? It is Google Chrome. Okay. Now I will do one more thing. I have the application of Google Earth Pro also. Okay. So if I want, instead of using the Google Chrome or any of the web browser, I am directly opening the Google Earth Pro over here. Okay. So in this case, which one is the client? It is a desktop client right now. Okay. Initially, when I was using the Mozilla Firefox, it was the web browser client. Now I am opening the Google Earth Pro app. Okay. In this case, which one is the client? Desktop is the client. I can also use my smartphone for this purpose, and I can open the Google Earth on the mobile also, on the smartphone also. In that case, the client will be a mobile client. So there can be so many different clients over here that can make a request to the web server. We will learn in detail in the upcoming lecture about how this request is being made, what is the HTTP request, what is the HTTP response, how this request and response works. Okay. In the next lecture, I will cover this part because that one will be about the basics of web. But this is a very simple thing that a client will make a request. Based upon the request, the server will respond. What we see the response of the server, which is rendered by the client, which is drawn by the client. Okay. This one is a very interesting figure. This one is showing the relationship between the web GIS and GIS. Okay. So even you people also draw this diagram in your copy that largest set is GIS. A subset of GIS is a distributed GIS. A subset of that one is the internet GIS, and even the subset of that one is the web GIS. Okay, so this is what the relationship between the GIS, distributed GIS, internet GIS, and web GIS. Okay, so we can say that web GIS is a subset of GIS. Now, coming to the next, which is the characteristics of the web GIS. The very first characteristic of a web GIS is global reach. Okay. Why there is a global reach? Because when we are using a web, okay, when we are using a web GIS, anybody having the internet connection, having a web browser can make a request and can see the response. Okay. When we have a simple system, okay, like in a traditional way, if I install the software in my system and make some analysis, I cannot distribute it to the another person. Okay, there will be only one person who is using my system can see the results. Okay, if I want to share my information, if I want to disseminate my information to a large number of people, in that case, WebGIS will be very useful. So in case of WebGIS, the reach is global. It is not just local, or it is not just a national wide. Web is something which is used by all over the world. Okay. So if you develop any of the application, that thing will be usable by everyone. The number of user will obviously be larger as compared to the traditional manner, because in the traditional desktop GIS, we need individual computers over which we need to install all the software, place all the data, and only then we can visualize the result or perform any of the analysis. In case of WebGIS, that thing is not required. Third thing, there is a new term called cross-platform compatibility. What is the meaning of this thing? Cross-platform compatibility, anyone?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
generally,
Yes, one by one.
ma'am, like we can use a particular software in on different that operating systems. Like we can, if you are having a particular browser or which we can use on Windows, also on Mac operating system also, that can be the cross platform.
Okay, correct. Yes, anybody else who's also answering? Somebody else?
No, ma'am, same answer.
Okay. So yes, the answer was correct. Cross-platform compatibility means if we try to use something on different platform, like if you are developing any of the WebGIS application, you can use it on any of the web browser. You can use it on Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, Apple Safari, wherever you want to use. You can use it any of the web browser. That website or that application will get opened over there. That web browser can again work on any of the operating system. Okay, Mozilla Firefox or Google Chrome can be there on the Microsoft Windows. It can be on Linux platform. The web browser can be used on the Apple Macintosh platform also. So these are the different operating system. Broadly, we can say Windows, Linux, and Mac. These are the three different types of operating system. So the web browser, there can be different types of web browsers. The web browser can work on different types of operating system. Okay. Cross-platform compatibility means if you are developing any of the application, it doesn't matter which web browser you are using, which operating system you are using, nothing matters. The application will get opened on any of the browser, on any of the operating system. Okay, that's why it is saying better cross-platform compatibility. How this thing is possible? Because when we develop any of the application, we use HTML, we may use applets, we may use JavaScript. Whatever we are using, most of the things are platform independent. But suppose if you are using like .NET framework, so again there is a limitation of a .NET framework. It cannot work on any of the platform. So we have to think whenever we are developing any of the application, we need to make sure that it is cross-platform compatible. Okay. Next, low cost as averaged by the number of user means the cost is low for any of the WebGIS application. The cost is comparatively low. Why? Because the number of user is larger. If you see a traditional system, traditional desktop GIS, like till now you were working on a traditional QGIS. Okay, traditional QGIS is traditional GIS is nothing else but it is like a standalone system. Right now you have a standalone system. You are working on your own computer only. You have installed one of the software over there and working on that one. You cannot share your content with the whole world. Okay. But when you are able to do that one, the cost will be lower. Why? Because the number of people who are using that one will be less. Lesser number of software acquisition will be required because people can access that one through their web browser. Okay. Next, easy to use for the end user. Nowadays, the user friendliness of any of the interface is very important. When there is a website design, there is a term which is written over here. If I don't know how to use your site, it's your fault. Okay. So if you start putting the blame on the another one, this is what happens over here, that the user are never wrong. If a user is not able to understand how to use a website, then it is not a fault of a user, but it is a fault of a developer. This is what they are saying, that when we develop any of the web application in Web 2.0 era, the user friendliness, the easiness of any of the website is a very important thing. The developers must ensure that users do not face any problem while navigating through a website. Usually, means even if you can see that suppose Facebook, okay, maybe some elderly person of your house who is not very well aware about the computers, who is not very well aware about the nitty-gritty of the web, even those people are able to use the Facebook. Although दे हैव अ लॉट ऑफ फेयर, हम कुछ उठाते हैं, कुछ पता नहीं बटन कहाँ से कहाँ दब जाता है, क्या हो जाता है, ये कंप्लेंट उनका हमेशा आएगा, लेकिन स्टिल दे आर यूजिंग दैट वन. In our offices also we used to see that people who have just means very basic level of education, do not know even the English, even those people are able to use the YouTube and other things. Why this is possible? आप अपने आसपास में किसी को भी देखिए, सब आज के टाइम में इंटरनेट किसी ना किसी तरह से किसी ना किसी फॉर्म में यूज कर रहे हैं. यंगस्टर यूज करें वहां तक ठीक है, क्योंकि ये आज हम लोग के टाइम की चीज है, बट अगर आप किसी एल्डरली पर्सन को देखते हैं और वो भी यूज कर ले रहे हैं, चाहे वो व्हाट्सएप पे उनको कुछ करना हो, चाहे उनको फेसबुक पे करना हो, चाहे उनको न्यूज कहीं पे जाकर के पढ़नी हो, है ना, ये सब काम वो कर ले रहे हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि इंटरफेस इतने सिंपल डिजाइन हो रहे हैं कि वो उस चीज को समझ सकते हैं, है ना. कुछ एक इंट्यूटिव है, कुछ एक बहुत ही सिंपल टर्म आप जैसे बताते हो, कुछ नहीं समझ में आया तो आप इसका होम दबा देना, आप शुरुआत वाले जगह पर पहुंच जाओगे. तो इस तरीके के कुछ चीजें हम उन लोग को सिखाते हैं, और सब कोई उसको कुछ सही तरीके से, कुछ गलत तरीके से, लेकिन वो फाइनली उसको यूज कर लेते हैं. ये आज के टाइम इंटरनेट का जो यहाँ पर एक टर्म लिखा है, इफ आई डोंट नो हाउ टू यूज योर वेबसाइट, इट्स योर फॉल्ट. Okay, so this is the motto behind the development of any of the website. That's why, for if we see this thing in terms of web GIS also, the pages are so simply designed that anyone can understand that thing. Okay, next one is unified update. Unified update means, like, you have installed QGIS. So if in case of any update in QGIS, it is not necessary that everyone is using the updated version. Some people may have updated their software, some others may not have updated that one. So there is non-uniformity in updation. But when we use a web GIS, the data is updated by the developer, whatever the interface, whatever software is used over there, everything is done by the developer. That's why there is a unified update. The data which is delivered, the information which is delivered by such application is very good, is very accurate. If you check the temporal accuracy, that thing is very accurate. Next, diverse application. Like in GIS, we have learned that one of the very basic method of giving the output in GIS is by creating the layout map. But over the time, with the development of multimedia applications, you have seen how the GIS is represented in so many interesting ways. Other than the simple map, there are so many multimedia tools that could be used. So if you people remember, I have shown you the example of NDTV. है ना, NDTV का इलेक्शन रिजल्ट्स आपको वहां पे दिखाया गया था, वेस्ट बंगाल का, गोवा का, केरला का, गोवा नहीं, केरला का, वेस्ट बंगाल का दिखाया गया था. उसमें किस तरीके से स्लाइडर्स को यूज करके प्रीवियस इलेक्शन और करंट इलेक्शन के रिजल्ट्स को दिखाया जा रहा था, किस तरीके से किसी भी कंस्टिट्यूएंसी पर क्लिक करने पर वहां पर जो विनर था उनका इंफॉर्मेशन, सेकंड रनर अप, थर्ड, इस तरीके से पूरा फर्स्ट सेकंड थर्ड रनर अप का पूरा इंफॉर्मेशन वहां पर आ रहा था. तो डाइवर्स एप्लीकेशंस का मतलब यही है कि अब लिमिटेशन केवल मैप तक नहीं रह गई है, मैप तक चीजें सीमित नहीं है, क्योंकि वेब को यूज किया जा रहा है. इस कारण से जो वेब के टूल्स हैं, जो मल्टीमीडिया टूल्स हैं, आप ट्रेडिशनल मैनर में इतना नहीं यूज कर पाएंगे. लाइक सपोज इफ यू आर राइटिंग योर थीसिस, है ना, जो सबको लिखनी पड़ती है अपना फाइनल ईयर में, उसमें अगर आप सोचें कि हम अपना कोई मल्टीमीडिया का टूल डाल दें तो वो नहीं डल सकता. वाई? बिकॉज आप तो उसको सिंपल प्रिंट फॉर्म में ले जा रहे हैं. प्रिंट फॉर्म में एकमात्र तरीका जो होता है रिप्रेजेंटेशन का, वो मैप हो जाता है. पर जब हमारे पास में वेब है, तो वेब के जितने सारे टूल हैं, जितने इंटरैक्टिव मैनर्स हमारे यूज हो सकते हैं, किस तरीके से हम अलग अलग चीजों को दिखा सकते हैं, वो सब यहाँ पर यूज होते हैं. तो यहाँ पर इसीलिए डाइवर्स एप्लीकेशन यहाँ पर बताया गया है कि बहुत अलग अलग फील्ड में एक तो वेब जीआईएस यूज हो रहा है, कोई ट्रेडिशनल मेथड नहीं, मैनर नहीं है. ट्रेडिशनली हम लोग ने किसमें देखा था? मिलिट्री में, कैडेस्ट्रल मैपिंग में, ठीक है, एकेडमिया में, रिसर्च में, इस तरीके के ट्रेडिशनल एप्लीकेशंस होते थे. बट वेब जीआईएस एक तो बहुत सारे टूल्स आ गए, प्लस बहुत सारे अलग अलग जगहों पर हम लोग उसका एप्लीकेशंस को देख रहे हैं, ठीक है। अब वो मैपिंग किसी भी तरीके की हो सकती है, जैसे फ्लिकर का एग्जांपल ले लीजिए, ठीक है। आपने एक जगह का नाम डाला, इसको दिखाते हैं आपको। सो हमने यहाँ पर प्रयागराज MNLP, MNIT इलाहाबाद डाला। यहाँ पे देखिए किसी किसी ने अपने अपने फोटोग्राफ्स डाले हुए हैं, और ये आपको कैंपस की फोटोग्राफ्स यहाँ पर दिख रही हैं, सारी नहीं है बट यहाँ पर परम लाभ है, उसका ये है, तो somebody is sitting, कोई है, ये किसी लेबोरेटरी का यहाँ पर बहुत पुरानी 2006 की फोटोग्राफ किसी ने डाली हुई है, ठीक है। ये संगम के पास का एरिया। तो यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा है, ये MNIT का मेन जो हम लोग का GIS सेल यहाँ पे इस जगह पे। तो यहाँ पर ये अगेन एक एप्लीकेशन आप वेब GIS की यहाँ पर देख रहे हैं, जहाँ पर टैगिंग हो रही है, लोकेशन बेस्ड टैगिंग। यहाँ पर फ्लिकर पे आप देख रहे हैं, यहाँ पर MNIT को डालकर सर्च कराया गया और MNIT से जुड़े हुए फोटोग्राफ्स इस लोकेशन की आ रही है। तो ये हमेशा कोई बहुत सीरियस एप्लीकेशन में ऐसा कोई जरूरी नहीं है, एक बहुत ही इनोवेटिव मैनर्स में लोग इसको यूज करते हैं। बहुत सारी अलग अलग एप्लीकेशंस हमको वेब GIS की यहाँ पर मिलती हैं। So this is all about the characteristics of web GIS. Next topic is web GIS applications. इसमें देखिए पहला है वेब GIS functions. फंक्शन में पहला फंक्शन रिपीटेडली यही आ रहा है, मैपिंग एंड क्वेरी। So web mapping as the face of web GIS is the most commonly used function. GIS data and analysis results are usually presented as maps. Every location on the map in turn has attributes that support such operations as spatial identify, like what is located over here, and attribute query, where are the bookstores located. Okay. So very first application is the mapping and query application. Anytime, again I will show you. OpenStreetMap. So this is what, this one is the web mapping application. So I have signed it into this one. Like suppose I am placing a query. So this one is the, first of all, this one is a map key. This one is a simple mapping operation right now. On the screen, you can see this Allahabad area, Teliaganj area, and here all the roads and some of the details which are related to this region are mapped over here. Okay. If I want to simple feature query, want to perform some of the feature query, I just clicking on this one and I am getting the information. So this one is trunk road NH30 and other information are coming over here. Okay. So nearby things are located. So if you click on any place, building number is this, building number is this, and other details are given over here. Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh, Ganga Yamuna River Basin, and others. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
how these building numbers are allotted?
No, they have given their own. Okay. They are giving their own. This one is not allotted by someone. This one is allotted by this OpenStreetMap. Like this. Okay. आप इसको कहीं भी क्लिक कर रहे हो, ये इनका अपना बिल्डिंग का नंबर है, ये यहाँ का अपना नहीं है, ये इस वेबसाइट का अपना दिया हुआ नंबर है. ये पूरा MNIT कैंपस का हमारा है. कॉलेज मोतीलाल नेहरू, प्रयागराज रीजन, प्रयागराज स्टेट उत्तर प्रदेश, गंगा यमुना बेसिन. So this is the very first, mapping and query. Second one, collection of geospatial information. So there have been a great interest by amateurs. Who is amateur? What is the meaning of this term, amateur?
Not so skilled.
If somebody is doing something just only like an hobby, okay, like the person is not a professional. Like आप पिक्चर लेते हो है ना, आपको पिक्चर खींचने का शौक है, आपने बहुत सारी फोटोग्राफ्स खींची, तो आप क्या है इस केस में एमेचर है. लेकिन अगर किसी ने कोई कोर्स किया, उसको प्रॉपरली उसको सीखा, देन दैट पर्सन इज अ प्रोफेशनल. ओके. यहाँ पे भी वही चीज बताई जा रही है कि in case of geographic information, a lot of data is get collected by the amateurs, those people who do not have a proper training in GIS, who do not know about the, anything about the geographic information, but still they are collecting the information. So when any of the general public will collect the information, like if I come back to that example, if I come back to this OpenStreetMap, okay, so OpenStreetMap is like a collaborative project in which the information is added in this particular thing by the common public also. Okay, if I want to add some information over here, I can also make an addition. Like if you see any of the Wikipedia page, that Wikipedia page is not always prepared by the expert. It can be prepared by anyone. Such type of system, such type of thing is called volunteered information, crowdsourcing. In GIS also, this thing is possible. Like in this particular example, you can see the whole map is given over here. And if I want to add, I can also edit it. Okay. There are the option over here. I can also make an edit on this one. Now, suppose if I am amateur, suppose if I do not know anything about the GIS, if I do not have any idea about latitude, longitude, what is positioning, what is data map, all the things that you have learned, if we do not know, in that case, we simply draw the road. Okay. So this is what the thing is, that with the web GIS, it is possible that anyone can contribute to the geographic information. Anybody, like in this one, you can see the OpenStreetMap. I will open another one. This one is Wikimapia, not Wikipedia. Okay, Wikimapia. So Wikimapia is another example of this thing. Here also you can see a map. Okay, again this one is the Allahabad map. You can see so much detail over here. So if I want to add any of the thing, I can also make an addition, like for the MNIT campus, like central library is given over. If I want to add this, that this location is for GIS cell. Okay, this one is the everything. So many details are given over here. But if something is missing, okay, like GIS cell is not coming over here, it is showing Motilal Nehru MNIT over here only. So if I want to add, I can add GIS cell over here. If I want to add, I can add mathematics department over here. Okay. some of the things are available over here. You can see so much detail, too much detail. But still, yes, means it is actually, the structure is very correct over here. So the thing is, yes, even shift ample is given. Yes, so anybody can contribute over here. This map is not given by any of the government. Like if a topo sheet, suppose, Survey of India, okay? So there are not anyone, like I want to add something in this map, do that thing. Because it's not like there's a government body in this map and other here. Okay, like this wiki map here. Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Someone please. Okay. There was some that Wikimapia is created. The information is public over here. The amateurs, like if you want, you can log in over here. You can add your own information over here. Okay. So this is what it is given over here. That there has been a great interest by amateurs as well as information.
Ma'am, it is still breaking.
Break.
Ma'am, you are not audible at all.
And am I audible now? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm giving you 5 minutes break and I will start the class again after 5 minutes. 5 minutes break. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we were discussing about the collection of geospatial information. Next thing is dissemination of geospatial information. How the information has been distributed, like
Ma'am,
here.
your voice is breaking.
Okay. So, if there's any problem in the audio, you can inform. Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I think so. There will be a little bit lag between my audio and my screen. Straight. Okay, so we have discussed about the collection of geospatial information. The next thing is dissemination of geospatial information. WebGIS is very useful in distributing the geospatial information. There's so many different examples that you have seen by now. They all involve the distribution of geographic information. The vaccination example, the Bhuvan portal example I have given you, that one was the example of uh, WebGIS where geographic information is given to the citizen. When the SDI has been developed, there was the distribution of that one with the help of spatial data infrastructure. The content got distributed to the general public. So this is how the WebGIS is used. I'm just reading out this section. WebGIS is an ideal platform for wide distribution of information. The VGI website mentioned earlier allow users to view operational results and download data. Government agencies, the academic sector, and some commercial sectors have long used WebGIS to share geospatial information. For example, National Geospatial Data Clearinghouses and Alexandria Digital Library. There is a term clearinghouses. ठीक है, इसको क्लियरिंग हाउस को कुछ कंफ्यूज मत होइएगा, ये क्लियरिंग हाउस इट्स जस्ट लाइक डेटा वेयर हाउसेस, यहाँ पर डेटा रखा रहता है, एक पोर्टल होता है जहां पर डेटा के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन होती है। जैसे एक एग्जांपल के थ्रू हम आपको दिखाते हैं। जस्ट वेट। तो यहाँ पर सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया का ऑनलाइन पोर्टल खुला हुआ है, ठीक है। इसके अगर प्रोडक्ट सेक्शन में जाएंगे तो यहाँ पर अलग अलग तरह के जो डिजिटल प्रोडक्ट्स अवेलेबल हैं उसका पूरा डिटेल हमको यहाँ पर मिलेगा। और यहाँ जैसे आप देख सकते हो, ऑल प्रोडक्ट, टोपोग्राफिक मैप, डिजिटल वेक्टर डेटाबेस, ये पूरा डिटेल है। साथ में इसका जो प्राइसिंग है, इसका जो कॉस्ट है, वो पैरेलली यहाँ पर पूरा लिस्टेड है, ठीक है। तो इस तरीके से यहाँ पर इसको पूरे के पूरे इस सेक्शन को यहाँ पर हम लोग एक तरीके से कह सकते हैं इट्स लाइक अ क्लियरिंग हाउस, ओके। वही यहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है, जियोस्पेशियल डेटा क्लियरिंग हाउस एंड अलेक्जेंड्रिया डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी प्रोजेक्ट इन 1990s built web-based platform to facilitate geospatial data sharing, discovery, evaluation, and download. More recent WebGIS web portals such as GIS, Geospatial One Stop, called GOS portal, European Union Infrastructure for Spatial Information in Europe, which is Inspire. Inspire is the example of SDI, Spatial Data Infrastructure. So these all are the places through which the people can search, people can download the web service. Next, fourth function of WebGIS is geospatial analysis. So WebGIS has gone beyond just mapping operation. It provides analytical function which are most notably closely related to daily life, such as measuring distances, finding area, finding the optimal driving path, finding the location of an address or place, and using proximity analysis to find the business nearby. So in our day-to-day life, whenever we are performing nearby thing, it is basically a geospatial analysis that is going on. Nearby vaccination center, nearby shop, anything that we are searching, it is a geospatial operation that is going on over there. So this is how there are so many functions of WebGIS that we have discussed, and later on also as we learn more and more about the WebGIS, you will get aware about the WebGIS. But two basic things you must remember. First one is about web mapping and query. This is one of the fundamental function that is given by the done by the WebGIS, and second thing is geospatial analysis. Coming to the uses, coming to the application of WebGIS, again, there are so many different places where you can find the application of WebGIS. Like WebGIS can be a WebGIS as a new business model, a new type of commodity. Okay. So just like any other commodity, WebGIS can also be a commodity. It can be used a lot by the business, like it is given over here. This one is like a case study. You need to read this whole section by yourself. But basically, this section is telling us, like in the previous semester, you have learned the application of GIS in business. If you remember, there was an example of Tesco. So at that place, it was discussed how the GIS could be used for doing the advertisement of the store, how they are using different coupons, how they are avoiding a simple distribution of uniform pamphlet distribution. Instead of using that one, they are using some customer loyalty and other things through which they can make a more proper advertisement of their own shop. Here also the WebGIS has been discussed how WebGIS could be used. Like it can be served like you can the software as a service that we have learned previously in the last lecture turn, that how Google Docs, is used even if you do not have a text editor, even if you do not have MS Word in your own system, still you can see the details on the Google Docs. So this was what? This was the example of software as a service regarding how the software has been used, even though you do not have a software. In WebGIS case also, even if you do not have a WebGIS, even if you do not have a GIS tool in your own system, GIS software in your own system, still you can perform the function, still you can use the data. How? By using the WebGIS. So in this case, WebGIS can help the business. It can help in the cloud computing, in any of the business, the identification of a store. People should be aware that one such thing is available around there. So the store locator, which is a very common tool which is provided by the website, any of the business website, the GIS is used, the web GIS is used over here. So this is how GIS could be useful in the business. GIS can be used for the e-governance. The very good example earlier was given to you, which is related to UP, which is related to the Karnataka. At that place, what was happening? The government is basically distributing the information to their public. When we are using agriculture application, when we are seeing the crop suitability maps, that one will be used by the farmers. Okay, the person who is doing the farming will be aware which land is suitable, which is not suitable. Okay, although yeah, there is a problem that it is not always possible that the farmer will be educated enough, but there may be some person who can help them. There can be the people who are involved in the agriculture, but they are also very well educated, so they can use such type of tool. Nowadays you can see that the government is using this web GIS a lot. There is a this Pradhan Mantri Bima Yojana and other things. They are using this information, GIS based information, for supporting the farmers. Okay, so government can, wherever you can find, like nowadays again there is a lot of COVID and other things. Again, government can even distribute the information to the public. I think Arogya Setu app must have been used by most of you in the initial days of COVID-19. So at that time, you were using the Arogya Setu app. In that case, your location has been taken, and on the basis of your location, the nearby area, the safety zone, the containment zone, and all the information was there on the Arogya Setu app. So this was what? This was one of the example how the web GIS has been used by the government. Okay, so wherever you can think, in whichever field you can think, every place the government is using the web GIS, and it is not just a one-way process that government is giving the information to their public. There is a reverse sequence also. Many times, like in case of bird flu and other things, government was saying that immediately inform us if there is any such incident that has been happened to you. There can be a reverse cycle also. The flow of information can be in reverse direction also, that the people can give the information to the government. Like suppose there is any construction, a newly made created road, there is some potholes over there, people can take a picture, geotag picture over there, and can send it to the proper authority. So this is how the information can flow in the reverse direction also. So this is about the web GIS and how it is used in the government. It can also be used in the science. It can also be used in our day-to-day life. All these examples have been discussed earlier, so I'm not going into these applications. So basic thing is, wherever there is location, there will be GIS. And since nowadays a major portion of our life is dedicated to the mobile phones, to the computers, to the internet, therefore the web GIS is knowingly or unknowingly is a part of our life. Okay, so this is all about the introduction about the web GIS. All of you need to read this chapter carefully. The chapter 1 of this web GIS one. This one is the chapter of a book. So all of you need to read up this chapter. Okay. From the next term, we will go into the detail of web. Okay, we have discussed about the web and GIS. So it is like an overview. From the coming turn, means on the next Tuesday when we have the web GIS lecture, we will start learning about the web. What is web? How the web functions? What are the different things that are involved over there? Okay. So that's it from my side for today's lecture. Now we are going to start our tutorial session. In today's tutorial session, there is something coming from the QGIS. Okay. All of you have already done the georeferencing. All of you have already done the digitization. Therefore, in today's tutorial session, I am providing you a map. This one is the map of Kolkata. Okay. This one is F45 K6 map. Okay. All of you need to do the georeferencing of this map. Just wait for a minute. What you need to do, you need to georeference this map. And once you have done the georeferencing, you need to do the digitization. Everyone know how to do the georeferencing? Okay. I'm just opening the QGIS software over here so that I will show you a little bit of that one. And thereafter, you need to perform the digitization, like polygon digitization of the urban area, of the water bodies, the point digitization, some of the line digitization. Later on, when we will learn about the development of a web GIS, there you will use this thing, this whole data that you are creating right now in the tutorial session, you will learn it over there. So just see, wait a minute. Yes. So right now on the screen, you can see I have opened this map on QGIS software. The first thing that you need to do is georeferencing. As you can see at the bottom on the coordinates section, random coordinates are coming in this place. Okay. Random coordinates are coming in the coordinates section. So you need to first perform the georeferencing operation. So how the georeferencing is done? By using the georeferencer tool in the raster menu. Okay. By using this georeferencer tool in the, just wait, I think so there is a lot of lag in my screen. Just wait for a minute. Still it is not working, I think so. My screen is visible or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here you can see in the raster menu, there is a georeferencer tool. With the help of this tool, if you remember, you can do the georeferencing. So in this one, you first need to add So in this georeferencer tool, you first need to add the image of this topo sheet. And thereafter, you need to go to the setting and enter the transformation setting. Polynomial transformation type will be polynomial 1, resampling nearest neighbor. Target spatial reference system or SRS is EPSG 4326. You need to give a proper output raster name, compression none. Rest of the things will be same. Okay. So you have to give first of all the transformation setting, and thereafter by using add point tool, okay, you can find this add point tool over here, this yellow color point. Yes. So by using this add point tool, you can click one by one on the corners of this map. Okay, on all the 4 corners of this map. Okay, like this. And now you can enter the values over here, which is 88.25 and 22.75. So this is how you will do the georeferencing of all the 4 points, and thereafter you will perform the digitization. Okay. Is there any doubt regarding the georeferencing and digitization? You can ask right now.
Ma'am, during the Viva, you were asking one question that how we can see that or we can know that some sheet is geo-referenced, and we were on the one answer I was having that we what we get at the bottom of the that QGIS, that coordinate points. Is there anything else by which we can know that particular sheet is geo-referenced?
If you are using the QGIS software, that is a method that you will check the coordinates over there. Yes, the answer was correct. If you are means that's right.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, and this particular place at coordinate place, if the latitude longitude values are coming, if you are placing a cursor on any of the intersection point and you are getting the exact coordinates over here, in that case it will be georeferenced topo sheet. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Anyone else? Any other question regarding the digitization or georeferencing? किसी को कोई चीज नहीं समझ में आ रही हो, कोई चीज पूछनी हो, कोई डाउट हो पूरे इस जियो रेफरेंसिंग या डिजिटाइजेशन में, आप इसको अभी पूछ सकते हैं. ओके देन, अगर कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है तो आप लोग अपना यहाँ पर फाइल्स में ट्यूटोरियल के अंदर kolkata.jpg ये फाइल यहाँ पर रखी हुई है, इसको आप डाउनलोड करिए और अपना डिजिटाइजेशन और जियो रेफरेंसिंग आज के लिए स्टार्ट करिए. ऑलरेडी टाइम बहुत कम है, जस्ट 35 मिनट्स आर देयर, सो इसको क्विकली इस पूरे ट्यूटोरियल सेशन को परफॉर्म करिए. मेरे टर्न से इतना ही है, साइड से इतना ही है. आप लोग मीटिंग लीव कर सकते हैं और अगर कोई डाउट है तो अभी 5-10 मिनट करिए. अगर कोई डाउट है हम अवेलेबल हैं, आप उसको पूछ लीजिए. अदरवाइज द क्लास इज ओवर फॉर नाउ.
थैंक यू मैम.
मैम वो डिटाइज क्या करना है?
डिजिटाइजेशन में आप कोई भी पॉइंट लाइन पॉलीगन में आप अर्बन सेटलमेंट ले सकते हैं, रिवर ले सकते हैं, वाटर बॉडी ले सकते हैं. ठीक है, इनमें से ये सारी चीजें आप इसमें पॉलीगन के तौर पर डिजिटाइज करेंगे. लाइन के लिए यहाँ पर रोड्स आपको दिख रही हैं. सो ये जरूरी नहीं है कि आप, क्योंकि टाइम बहुत कम है ट्यूटोरियल का, 35 मिनट्स लेफ्ट है, तो आप इसको अभी भी कर लीजिए. बाकी वीकेंड पर जब आपके पास में टाइम रहे तो आप इसका डिजिटाइजेशन अपना परफॉर्म कर सकते हैं. पॉलीगन के लिए अर्बन सेटलमेंट और रिवर है. लाइन के लिए स्ट्रीट्स, रोड्स, रेलवे ट्रैक, जो भी आपको इसमें मिलता जाए सब है इसमें अवेलेबल. पॉइंट में भी आप अपना कुछ यहाँ पर हर्ट्स को ले लीजिएगा, ट्रीज को ले लीजिएगा. ठीक है, तो इस तरीके से पॉइंट लाइन और पॉलीगन का डिजिटाइजेशन होगा. क्लियर है भगत?
मैम
यस मैम.
मैम पॉलीगन में रिवर और वो अर्बन सेटलमेंट दोनों लेने हैं मैम, या फिर कोई एक लेके कर दें?
नहीं नहीं, आपको अलग अलग शेप फाइल्स बनानी पड़ेंगी. अर्बन सेटलमेंट की एक शेप फाइल बनेगी, वाटर की अलग शेप फाइल बनेगी, रिवर की अलग शेप फाइल बनेगी, रेलवे की अलग शेप फाइल बनेगी, हर्ट की अलग शेप फाइल बनेगी.
ओके मैम.
ओके.
ओके मैम.
मैम जो वेब जीआईएस और एसआईपी का सिलेबस आपने अपलोड किया है क्या मैम?
नहीं, उसका सिलेबस अपलोडेड नहीं है.
ओके, कर देंगे क्या मैम?
ओके.
Thank you.